I'm gonna modify my GUI constructor to take in an array list of crusts, an array list of sizes, and an array list of ingredients. One of the things I'm gonna have to do here is to create checkboxes using the ingredients. I have to create radio buttons using the sizes, and create a combo box using the sizes. Actually, this one for the crusts, and that one for these sizes. I'm gonna do that while I pause the video, and when I'm back I'll explain what I did. Real quick, all of what I've done so far is that I created a couple new array list of type J checkboxes and J ready buttons, and in my constructor, after I passed in my crust sizes and ingredients, I kind of populated this checkboxes with whatever came from this ingredients list or crusts list or the sizes. Excuse me. So if I go back to my crust or sizes or ingredients, I've also overridden the default toString method so that whenever you get or you call the toString on the crust class, it will be the name space the price. Actually, let's make it dash price. And I've done the same for the sizes, and the same goes for ingredients. Save this, here's ingredients, and here's that. I also created a J combo box of the sizes, but again, because this is an array list, I still need to convert it to an array first before I actually pass it to the combo box. Now we're gonna have to create a function called update UI that will add those radio buttons or those checkboxes or those combo boxes to the actual layout. And I'll do that while I pause the video, and we'll see you after. So what I've done here is that I created this update UI function which creates the grid layouts and assigns those layouts to the panels, and dynamically add the checkboxes or the radio buttons from our array lists. So for example, here I created a grid layout which has a number of rows equal to the number of checkboxes that we have. So if I have five ingredients, I will have 5 rows here. I assign that layout to the panel, and I'm looping over the ingredient checkbox to add this dynamically to the toppings panel. Now, same goes for the other ones here. So let's try to run the application and see what we get. And there we go. Everything is populated dynamically. Now, if I exit the application and I go back to my pizza place, and I'm actually gonna create a new ingredient. Oops. I don't know, tuna. Ew. And we'll save that. Let's run the application again, and it should dynamically reflect here as well. All right, so let's now start thinking about the logic for the order and how we can select or know which one we've selected, and then getting the totals and displaying the receipt. Let's create the event listener for this quit button. So I'll right click and select create listener, and this is an action listener. And don't get these. Okay, so I can go over here and just type in system.exit with a code 0, and that will be it. I can actually modify this a little bit and use the lambda way, which would be something like this. We're gonna have to modify this so it would represent the user with a some kind of a dialog box or a check that says, "Are you sure you wanna exit the application?" So as it turns out, I've been talking to myself for almost an hour now, without starting the recorder. So I really didn't know where I left off. So I'm just gonna do a review of all. I think I finished the application here, so I'm just gonna show you what I have, and then if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, so this was where we left off, I believe. Here's our form. One thing I noticed as I was coding is that I had this as a text field, and it should actually be a text area instead. So on my order class, I've created this get receipt function which returns a string, and all it does here is that, well, first of all, it shows this pizza string thing, and then it loops over all the pizzas that we have, and then it shows a line that says pizza number, whatever the counter is, and then next to it will show you the total price for that one pizza, and then it would also display the crust name and the size name and the size price in one line. This is the string format. Here's how I am formatting this, and then it's gonna loop over all the ingredients of that one pizza, and then it's just gonna show them all as well, the name of the ingredient and next to it the price. And here's my string formatter. Once all of that is done, at the end here it gets the subtotal, which is the order total, not the pizza total, because now again I tried to make this extensible, so if later on they decided to allow for we decided to allow for more than one pizza per order, we're not gonna have to change anything on the order side, and it's just gonna be the UI changes that would allow for multiple pizzas. So again, here I'm getting the subtotal, which is just the pizza totals. It's a calculation of all the pizza totals, and then there's a tax rate, which is 0.07. It multiplies that by the total, and then at the end it shows the whole total for the receipt. This is my receipt string. Is there anything else that I did here? Let's see the program. Okay, so on the program I've created the pizza place. I passed in the name and the phone number to instantiate this object, and I'm instantiating the Pizza GUI application by passing in the name, crusts, and sizes and ingredients. And so if I go to the pizza form here, let's see what we have. Here I'm passing in the title as well as all of these array lists. I'm adding those to the available crusts or available sizes and available ingredients, which is what we're going to use to display dynamically to the user. Here is my array list of checkboxes, and okay, so the one thing that I added here was this put client property. Now the checkboxes, actually, if you try to get the selected item, it will only show you the text displayed. But if you wanted to get the actual object of what you passed to it, I had to create my own client property, which I called value in this case, and I'm passing in the value to it. So here I have a new checkbox object, and this is the string that will be displayed. But it will also, like, behind the scenes, it has a property called value, which is the actual ingredient object. And the same goes for the crusts here. I did the same exact thing, and this was it. I have 3 action listener or event listeners. The first one is for the quit button, which will display a confirmation dialog to the user, and if they select yes, then it exits the system, otherwise it doesn't do anything. My order button, what it does here is that first thing, it creates an order object, and then it gets the user selection. So here, for example, I'm going to loop over the checkboxes that I have, and if that item was selected, then I'm gonna get this value, this client property that I just talked about, and I add it to the array list of selected ingredients. For the selected crust, I kind of do the same thing. I have a crust object here, so I loop over the radio buttons, and if the item was selected, then I get that value, or this object. You notice here that I'm actually doing some casting, so whatever that value is, because this actually takes a property or a type of object, which is basically anything, so I had to cast it to my own type before I can present it or add it to my array list. Sorry. Last thing here is I'm getting the selected item from the size combo, and this is the only place where you can get the item itself, not just a string. After I got all the user selection, I'm making a pizza object based on the selected crust, selected size, and selected ingredients, and then I'm passing this pizza object to the order. Once that's added to the order, now if I actually call get receipt on that order, it will be able to loop over the pizzas of that order and send it back to me. So here I have receipt text area. I'm just setting the text of that text area to whatever came back from the order get receipt. I'll leave this part for extra credit, adding the order to the pizza place history. There is something involved here about design patterns and something specific, specifically the singleton design pattern. If you actually look into that and implement it, that's gonna be about I think 10 extra points. Yeah. Finally, here I have my clear button, which will set the text area to nothing, and it's gonna loop over the ingredients checkboxes and set them all to false, or kind of clear selection for all of them, and the same for the radio buttons. Is there anything else here? I think that was it. So let's see how the application runs now. If I run the application, it's gonna open up on my second monitor, so I'll have to move it. So that's what it gets. Again, this name was dynamically populated at the program class. This is the same name that we passed to it. Where's the app again? Here we go. So now if I select a regular crust and a medium size with the following toppings, and I select order, I get the receipt. So that's the counter that I was talking about here. And if you clear it, it will clear selection, clear the receipt area, and that's it. Now if I click quit, I get this confirmation dialog. I select yes, and it closes. So that's the assignment for the week. I hope it makes sense. It's kind of a review of everything we created. Classes, I don't think the only thing that we haven't done here is really polymorphism and inheritance, but we can do that in following videos. All right, thank you guys.